All right, here we are, Awesemo. It's your old pal Emac. I will be joined shortly by Terry McBride, T McBee. I hit the button as he was standing up, and there we
My
go.
bad.
Keystone Cops
What's happening,
time.
everybody? We're here.
Oh, good times, good times. All right, well, we've got a full slate here, so let's wait for people to collect in, but we're going to be off to the races. We're going to try to touch on each on-air production meeting, Terry. We're going to try to touch on each of the pitchers as we quickly go through, give them a yay, give them a nay, with as many games as we have on the slate. That's more or less what we'll do. It'll be similar to what we do for the Early Bird podcast, focusing on that, and then we'll see if we can't find some times to take some questions. But reminder, we are sponsored here by Yahoo. They are making some waves there in the DFS fantasy world. They have some no management fee tournaments up already for tomorrow's NBA. They've got a $3 one. It's just 500 spots. It's already 20% full. You should definitely check that out. These are winnable tournament. So management fee means they're not taking anything out. So this will fill. It's going to be $1,500 in, $1,500 out. Nothing nothing goes to the site. So you want to jump in those when you can. They generally post these the night before. They also do them for baseball, so check it out. But they're not the giant ones that they've been running before. They've got a lot going on for football, as do we here at Awesemo. We'll talk about that in a bit. But in the meantime, let's jump on in here. Let me get a game schedule up. And we are going to start off here with the Minnesota Twins and Kansas City Royals. So we've got Randy Dobnak, who is lucky, going against Kansas City, and Brady Singer. For this one, Dobnak's price, 8,600. Not much strikeout upside with him. The regression monster is out there. Going into last start, I think he had some ungodly thing like a 96% left on or strand rate, meaning of the runners that reached base, 4% of them scored. That's going to be closer to 70%. Yeah. Maybe even in the upper 60s, depending on what kind of defense you have around you, etc. But he's been a little lucky lately. These guys are both going to be kind of 5%ers for me tonight. I doubt I will get either one. I do like the hitters. I don't think I'm Xing any pitchers out tonight. Like I have the last couple nights. So, but I also think their point per dollar is not going to get me there. So we'll see what happens. Do you want to point anything out in this game, or maybe some hitters that you've got your home run model has its eye on, shall we say?
Yeah, I think we can definitely get to some Twins here in that regard. I'm getting a decent home run mark on several of the different Twins, the guys you would expect. Kepler, Rosario, Miguel Sano, all over 10. Some reasonable marks on the guys in between. No Nelson Cruz in the lineup tonight, but probably not going to matter. Singer's been pitching pretty okay. Good strikeout percentage. He gives up too many walks. 4.40 xFIP, so reasonable xFIP for a kid. This is his third time facing this team. Does that concern you at all when it's coming up, from a perspective of like third time through the rotation, a guy gets more vulnerable? So similar kind of idea, third time seeing this team in a row.
It really does, especially when you're playing with fire like these two teams where they have some power. And that's just it. It's another check away. Like if you were looking at tiebreakers, this is one that doesn't make me happy. It's sort of like
in the con column.
It's 85 degrees and there's a 7-mile breeze out to center. Okay, well, that doesn't make me happy, but I'm not going to stay away from it. But it just takes a little, as our former coworker Fast Eddie Fear would say, you get a little cookie from here and a little cookie from here, and all of a sudden you got a plate of cookies, and it's not where you expected it to be. So I'm mixing his metaphors. But
this is a cookie we don't want to eat. So
no.
So I would stay away there.
That's definitely what we'll want to look at.
Yeah, and then same idea with Dobnak. You mentioned he's getting lucky. He's 1.42 ERA. People might be looking at that on the surface. So he's a 4.10 xFIP so far this season, only 14% strikeout. So just not a pitcher who's a target for me. I agree. Small 5% ownership on DK. You can roll him out as an SP2. I wouldn't take anybody off the board as an SP2 on DK today either. It's just a flat kind of ugly day for pitching. So I would leave him in that spot. But I think we could maybe get some sneaky Royals bats here as well. If the public is seeing that 1.4 whatever ERA and saying, oh, that's a good pitcher, maybe avoid the hitters here, we might get a little bit sneaky with them.
Yeah, and that's where we'll see as we get the ownership coming in, popularity of who is being selected on these different spots. So let's continue through here. And I closed the wrong window. I see somebody, sorry, the name just, Yellow Yobo Goodgreens needs help updating his credit card for premium monthly. Support at Awesemo.com. They have the magic power behind the scenes. I'm not allowed to touch stuff. I have like a super account, but they haven't taught me how to do anything. I tried to help out once before. They told me don't ever do that again. So I will say they do check them. We do have people that go through those mailboxes. It's Saturday night now. Someone will get to it, but that's your best way to do it. And if you're a premium member, you could just kind of ping somebody in Slack chat or put it in the general, and they'll get it as well. But they will definitely help you out on that. And if you run into any other trouble, I'll talk to me and I'll make them talk to you. But again, I can't do any of the change. I can do the changes. I don't know how. So Terry has seen enough of my technological follies that they started out training me, and it was just decided that's not a good idea because it was the Fred Van Elite contest where I was giving people free subscriptions.
Right.
Oh, I was giving free subscriptions. So we said, oh, well, okay, please don't do that anymore. We'll take care of that for you, old pal. And there we are. Hey, speaking of which, I won the contest last night. I get 30 free days of Awesemo premium content right there.
Look at you. I expect your NBA results to go up then.
Yes, we shall see. We shall see. All right. Now that I've done a little pseudo commercial there, let's get back into the games. Detroit and Cleveland both. Shoot, I did not have a chance to read your article today, Terry. I'm assuming you probably talked about Cleveland at some point in one of them.
You know what? I was moving around a little bit, and I don't think I did, but it's an absolute target for me. It's, I like to go after Boyd, and that I like this team. So the fact that I didn't write about them might have just been a product of I've written about them a bunch of times and I wanted to get on somebody different. I think I used the Diamondbacks again last night, so I was just trying to change things up a little bit.
All right. Well, I did.
Again,
so let me
on the White Sox. So.
Yeah, let me throw some stuff here at you. Let me get over to this.
Yeah, I love the spot. I got a lot on the spot.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Franmil Reyes up there for home run opportunities tonight. Yep. We've got so I've said my Friday's main stacks recommendation was also Cleveland. The analysis covered how right-handed pitcher Michael Fulmer was in over his head, and though he only gave up one home run with 5 earned runs, they're right back in the mix on Saturday, they being Cleveland. And I said, only in the wildness of 2020 would I need to apologize for talking about a stack that did okay. There were 3 other double-digit score games. So,
it's just a monster. And I mentioned that exact same thing in mine. 3 double-digit games. It's like, we're picking just bats all over the place. So it's just wild out there this year, So we're just, when we stack, we've got to go with these best options. And that one came through. I mean, it was a good stack last night. There were just other better options. So
last 1,300 righties faced, and Cleveland is just loaded with switch hitters, which is awesome. Boyd has allowed a 1.8 home run per 9 and a just shy of a 40% hard hit rate. Those are like batting practice type numbers. So anybody going from the right side of the plate, including all of the switch hitters, is in play. Are you homing in on any of these guys in particular?
Yeah, I mean, the guys you just named, Cesar Hernandez doesn't qualify for the power side of things up top as just one of those switch hitters. But from Ramirez, Lindor, Santana, and Reyes, all well over 10 in my home run model. Those guys make a great little four-man on FanDuel if you want to roll that out. You can do the around the horn in the infield on FanDuel and do that and add Franmil on over on DK. Love all those options. I wouldn't sleep on Jordan Luplow, Domingo Santana toward the back of this lineup, even a Roberto Perez. Low owned on DK as a catcher option at 3,800 rather. All those guys are ridiculously cheap on FanDuel, so you're not getting the greatest projection, but it's differentiating a middle of the range, maybe popular type of a stack here. Gives you some options and fills in some of those mandatory plays on DK with a good play. So I like that spot a lot. You mentioned Boyd's home run per 9, 1.76 home run per 9 career against right-handed hitters, 1.45 against lefties. Both sides of the plate get to him. Just gives up a ton of home runs. 8 already in 23 innings this year, 39 in 185 innings in 2019. 30% strikeout rate in 2019 seems like an illusion. He's around 23% for his career. That's right back where he's back to this year. So I don't love him as a pitching option either. I think I would pretty much get away from him. On DK, you can do it, of course, like we've talked about. But on FanDuel, I don't love him. I think we've got him decently high ranked. So I'll probably get to him based on what Alex is seeing, but it's not comfy for me.
Yeah, and that's I think that's what we're going to say about a lot of the pitching tonight. There's not that many good ones here. Any interest at all in targeting against Tristan McKenzie here and whatever else is coming out of the Cleveland bullpen? It is in the mid 80s, slight breeze in from center field.
It's interesting. I was just about to ask if you've seen a pitch count on McKenzie. Have you seen anything where he's going to be limited 50 some odd pitches, something like that? Because he missed all of last season, which is the reason I'm concerned. He had a back issue last season, was out the entire year.
Yeah, I'm kind of mentally when I don't see anything, I kind of say 40-50 and just say, okay, what is their actual upside if we haven't heard anything? 60 maybe. And this isn't really a place I'm overly excited, so I'd be more curious about taking him taking hitters against him, but because Detroit's so cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely look at that. I think you can do it. You can weaponize them as a stack on DK, especially as a second stack where you're just, grab three of these guys, three of their better hitters, and put them with your high-end team and two good pitchers. I think we could definitely do that here. It is a rookie. He's probably going to be limited, and then you're going to be getting into that Indians pen. He's a very high-end kid, though. So that's one thing to be aware of. He's their number 2 overall prospect. He's a kid we've been looking forward to for several years now, and he was set back. He missed part of 2018 with injuries and then all of 2019, like I was just saying. But when he does pitch in 143 innings in high A in the Carolina League in 2017, he won the Pitcher of the Year award, struck out 186 in just 143 innings. That's 32.8%. That was a 2.67 xFIP. Again, it's minor league ball, but these are the things we've got. He's got a really repeatable motion, throws strikes consistently. So he just pounds the zone, 95-mile-an-hour heater, plus curve, plus changeup. So he generates a good amount of swing and miss. Strikeout pitcher. If he gives us, I'd rather see 60, 70 pitches. If he gives you 50 pitches for 5,400 on DK, I think you can get there with a very, low-owned, cheap type of approach. Again, don't go nuts with it. I don't know if I would do it at all, even at 6K on FanDuel, but I like the kid's pedigree a lot.
Yeah, and this will be 5%er for me if he comes in the lineups just for differentiation. I don't think I'll get there because there's enough other pitchers out there, but I'm not going to take the zero or zero him out, I should say. This is just one of those things where we see. I mean, time and time again, the pitchers we think are going to be good just getting their ass kicked this year, and it's the randos that are doing okay.
Yeah,
I'm just playing more lineups. I'm hoping one breaks free, to borrow the Josh Engelman phrase, and going that route. And though I have not had great results this last week, I'm still up about $1,500 since sports came back. So for that's pretty nice. I'm just saying, those of you watching, would you like to be up about $1,500? I would. I'm happy with it. The wife doesn't ask what's going on. Of course, I never redeposit anymore. Every now and then I'll withdraw, but I don't usually have to redeposit. So I don't have to explain any credit card charges.
As long as it's going in that direction, I feel like you're okay there.
Yeah. So that's worthwhile. So just saying, guys, it's attainable. I play, a couple $100 a day. That's it. I'm playing all the sports, but I'm playing in the smaller contests and the other stuff. So I just want to point out that's one way to save money. Another way to save money is to go with the flash sale that's going on right now. So Joey Corman from Awesemo is in the chat. He is giving us half off the fantasy football draft kit, which is $29.95, and it's a best ball draft kit. It is phenomenal. We've got a whole bunch of tools built for that. The draft wingman, the projections are constantly updating. Basically, Alex took his DFS model and then ran it for each of the matchups, right? And then made a season-long rankings list. He and Nolan did a great show yesterday. That is on the YouTube channel. It's also on our podcast. I listened to that while I was out running errands today. Phenomenal, because when you have these these large field tournaments that for best ball. So I've only just played the best ball regular leagues, and I've done a couple hundred each of the last few years. I put about $1,000 or $1,500 into them. So I usually play in the $5 and $10 ones and throw in $1 or $2 ones here and there, just when I'm trying to do more, some at once, or I want to try out something before I go jump into the $5 and $10 ones. So it's a lot of fun. So you definitely want to check that out. But they were talking about the stacking, and I was like, why are we focused on stacking? Well, for these large field tournaments. So yes, wait, this is how it works. So basically, you're in a league. I'm sort of making this up. I don't know exactly how it works. But like week 12, 13, or 14, at some point, depending on which site you're playing, the league champion or sometimes the first and second teams in the league advance against everybody else who's first or second in their leagues. and then they all are now in a GPP. That is cumulative score with a slow cutoff,
Right.
nipping at the heels of the other teams. So yes, stacking actually does matter because you're trying to win your league, but then you're trying to get that extra oomph for leverage when you get to this 2 or 3 or 4 week sprint, depending on the site and format you're playing. So this is very interesting, and they talked how you could get multiple stacks and where you have to draft people and how sometimes you have to go early and what order to draft the people in. So stuff that I was like, oh my goodness, I hadn't thought about this at all because I'm more balanced portfolio, figure it out. It's a battle of attrition against injuries, etc. So you're going to get that half off, and then that comes with the week of baseball. Hey, sign up now because I'm sure that ends as soon as this show is over. So check that out. Shout out to Joey.
Go get it.
For getting that one by Tom. Tom may not be working this weekend. Joey may not be allowed to do, like I'm not allowed to do technology at Awesemo. Joey may not be allowed to do sales after that one. It's
no
so
more
good.
sales promos.
Yeah.
Hey, like they always say, it's better to ask for forgiveness or beg forgiveness than ask permission, right?
All right. So our quick pace isn't that quick, but this one's a little interesting. Zach Wheeler, Robbie Erlin. We have this game in Atlanta. It is in the mid 70s. We've got Wheeler, who he's okay, but he's 10,300. I'm not that excited against Atlanta till you start to look at some of the other pitchers that are out there, and all of a sudden Wheeler feels a little more stable. Atlanta's missing a few key people. The heart of their order is now Freddie Freeman, Marcell Ozuna, Adam Duvall, Matt Adams, Austin Riley. That's not that scary. Where's Albies? Where's Ozuna? Well, they're on the shelf right now. So Atlanta and your Yankees have been gobsmacked by the injuries. Oh, hat tip to World Series MVP Steven Strasburg, who is out after receiving surgery for carpal tunnel on his right hand. So, yikes. What do you want to do with this game? I think it might be the pitching.
Yeah, I think we have to look at Wheeler here. You mentioned it. There's just not a lot of great pitching options. He's one of the better guys up top. He's pricey on both sides. Definitely like him better at 91 on FanDuel than I do at 10-3 on DK, but I think you got to get to him on both. He's been pitching really well, and we can count on innings with him unless he gets lit up, which we saw this team do to Nola last night after the rain delay. That one just absolutely killed me. It shot me completely in the foot and put the phone down early, stopped checking lineups. But Wheeler, each of his, he's gone 7, 5 2/3, 6, and 7 innings in his 4 starts. So we're getting reliable pitch counts here. He's sitting 90th percentile in exit velocity allowed, 85th hard hit rate, 73rd in xwOBA, 89th in barrels allowed. 33% whiff on his slider. It's a great pitch. He throws it 15% of the time, throws 66% of the time. He throws a 97-mile-an-hour four-seamer or sinker. They roll those two pitches together. 15th overall in Major League Baseball in 2019, so not 15th percentile, 15th ranked in inducing soft contact. He's really, really good at it. He's doing it again this year. So that's what we want to see from a pitcher. I think he can do it again. You mentioned there's some hitters out of this Braves lineup. I still do like the lineup, but they're not really popping in my home run model here. They're not really popping in Alex's projections. They're cheap. I think you can build some Braves lineups, but I like the Wheeler side of this a lot better. I think we can and must get to Wheeler today.
All right. Robbie Erlin, another 5%er for me, and no real interest in him. If I'm going off memory here, he was the guy. He came out from San Diego, right?
Yeah.
So San Diego. So heading into his last start, I kind of written him up as somebody to target against, especially with righties. He had played, I think, 5 or this is his 6th season. I think he now has like 325 career innings, and it's not great. He's been hurt a lot. He's been the swingman. He's been a reliever. He's been a starter. He's kind of bounced around a little bit. Do you want to go with the Metropolitans?
Philadelphia.
I'm sorry, Philadelphia. Thank you. The Metropolitans. They're out. There is no baseball in New York. Much like Casey at the bat, the Mudville 9 has struck out. COVID, sorry. Hashtag 2020.
That got my dog whining over here. Did you hear that? He's whining now.
I'm sorry. No,
it's okay, buddy.
My dog she knows to jump up on the couch when I say, you want to watch the Nats?
Nice. My dog responds more to the F word and the W word, which are food and walk. You didn't hear that. So, yeah, Erlin, I think on DK, maybe we get to a little bit. But, yeah, I'm much more interested in the Phillies' bats against him here. Roll out some of those quality right-handers. We've got Rhys Hoskins up there. We've got JT Realmuto in this lineup. Even a Gene Segura, he's hitting like 6th, does good things with his legs. only 2,500 on FanDuel, 4,300 on DK, not getting very owned. Multi-position eligibility over on DK at second and third base. I like the way that the Philly stacks come together. They're not my highest ranked stack by any means today, but I definitely want to roll some of them out there. A little tiny touch of Verlin. I think he's one of your 5%er type guys. Over that 300 and actually, I got to correct you. It was 323 career innings, not 325.
Sorry.
So over that stretch, he's 374 xFIP, which is belies a little bit of what we think on the surface, but just not a great pitcher, a league averages type guy. Eliminated his slider this year. He's throwing 59%, just a 90-mile-an-hour flat straight curveball. Gets around 20% whiff on his changeup, so not a strikeout pitcher, not somebody we're worried about here. If you roster him, you're hoping for the cheap price that he's limiting runs and putting up an okay score, but he's not for me.
All right, reminder, go check out that link. You can scroll up and get it. We're doing a flash sale on NFL right now, half off, and that's the NFL season-long package. You also get a week of baseball that comes with it. It's a great deal. There's also a show that's on the YouTube and podcast channels. Nolan and Alex did a live draft last night on DraftKings and broke down what they were doing, what they were trying to do, and it was actually eye-opening. The strategy, the stacking, they're playing it in a large field tournament where all the leagues funnel into the large field tournament for the last few weeks of the season. So a lot of, if you've not been in that format, and I haven't, I played tons of best ball, just not in that particular format. There's some stuff that I would have missed on completely. So I've got to rethink what I'm doing. All right, moving along. Martin Perez, Alex Cobb. Again, couple of 5%ers here. Martin Perez never quite gets blown up. Alex Cobb usually doesn't either, but both teams' bullpens are garbage, and that is very helpful. I would be shocked if either one of these guys goes more than 5 innings. And at that point, all bets are off. I'm okay if they survive for 3 or 4. I mean, we saw some pitchers survive the last few days with like 4 1/3 and a few strikeouts, gave up a couple runs, and they were in the top 10 pitchers for the night. And all of a sudden, you're like, wait, they didn't go negative? Wait, this is good. Nick M. I will mispronounce Mark Vicious. He was actually good last night. I said, don't play him. He was in 6% of my lineups. Those lineups cashed because they didn't have Aaron Nola in them. But just saying, it's a crapshoot out there.
Yeah, it is that kind of year for sure. These are two pitchers that I've come around a little bit on Perez. He's not earned my respect by any means, but he's probably limited the amount to which I'm saying that I want to target this guy all the time. He's pitched reasonably well. Got saved by the rain last time out against the Yanks. I feel like the Yanks were going to put some more runs on him, but he lucked out. He's only a 14.8% strikeout guy for his career. He's limited the long ball over his career, but he was at 169 home runs per 9 in 2018, 125 in 2019. 112 career to right-handed hitters, so righties get to him a little bit more than lefties. But overall, he's limiting quality contact. He's 91st in exit, 91st percentile exit velocity this year, 83rd hard hit rate. He throws a cutter 33% of the time, then he gets 20% whiff rate, and then 30% to the fastball at just 91, 30% changeup. So it's like a third of each pitch. That's about the book on him. There's not much to love as a pitcher, but I agree you can roll him out maybe a 5%er. He's only 6,100 on DK. He's getting a decent ranking in the top pitcher tool, even on FanDuel. So at 6,800, I don't think we need the savings, but if you find a way where you're thirsty for some low salary pitchers, that may be a guy you can use. Take a look at the stacks tool. I get an okay projection on him. Despite their performance this year, the Orioles are not a team that I like. I think is a good team, so I think he can perform against them. Maybe pick off some Ks. Alex Cobb, I still think is a target. He has not gained that respect from me. His home run marks just shoot up in my home run model for the team against him every time. The same is true for the Red Sox here. So I think I want to get to some Red Sox stacks. We saw them hit a few home runs yesterday. I think they're going to do the same thing to him here. So Cobb's definitely a target for me. Bottom quarter of the league, bottom 25th percentile in basically every StatCast category you can come up with. Really basic arsenal, 92-mile-an-hour fastball, 87-mile-an-hour splitter, 82-mile-an-hour curve. He does get around 50% whiff on the splitter this year, so it's been an effective pitch for him. That's his change of pace pitch. But I think these hitters are going to just absolutely tattoo him here. We've got a lot of good lefty quality in this lineup from an Alex Verdugo, Rafael Devers, Mitch Moreland. I love the home run opportunity from Mitch today. He was my home run pick. Jackie Bradley Jr. always sneaky late in this lineup, so I want to get to some Red Sox builds for sure.
All right, got to give a quick shout out here to John Mala. Thank you for the heads up and following up there. Notifications are working fine. I tried to tweak one thing. I think I got it, but again, me and technology. We'll see. And then we've got a please and thank you around a question. That doesn't happen very often these days, so we're going to just jump right to this. Bo Jones says, should I go with Moreland and Altuve or Rizzo and Ketel Marte? Single entry on Yahoo. I think we may have undersold Mitch Moreland. I like him. We've seen Altuve. I don't know that he's seeing the ball well or whatever. He's had some hits in the last couple games. I'm more comfortable looking at him. That all said, Marte was the cover boy on my Stacks article today, so I think you're in good hands either side there, Bo. I would probably take that first.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I would probably lean into the first one. I don't have the pricing in front of me, which matters, but I love Moreland today. I undersold it. Even though he is my home run pick, I would hammer that.
Oh, is he really?
Is my home run pick for the day. Yes.
Well, good. Then I will take Franmil Reyes. Put it on the board.
I like it. So, yeah, I'm all about that Arizona stack as well. I really, really like it today. They're going to be a heavy-owned stack for me. So I agree the Ketel Marte side of that is good. But Jose Altuve at a discount because of underperformance to start the year. This is he's on a Hall of Fame track with his hit tool for most of his career. This is not a guy I worry about. He didn't forget how to hit. He doesn't not know how to hit anymore because they're not hitting a trash can. That was 2017 and 2018 anyway, not 2019, and we weren't worried about him last year. He's fine. So play the Altuve side of it. That would be my pick.
All right, let's.
Did that question come in like handwritten by U.S. mail? That was a please and thank you. That's surprising.
I know it's. We must encourage and acknowledge that. Oh, we got one more. Here's premium chat here. Let's let it flip over. Reyes or Kepler, FanDuel GPP one-off. For me, it will be Franmil because he is my home run pick of the day. Kepler gets overlooked so often. Yeah, what's your home run model say? And when you say it's got a rating of 10, does that mean like 10% chance they hit a home run for the day, or is that just a secret sauce number? And I know double digits means good. So. Yeah.
10 means you've got a good chance, basically, right? And everything below that is like an average chance. We see guys occasionally creep up into like the 20s, and that means you've got a really, really good chance. So right now, Kepler is at a 12.73. I think he might have been the guy I listed. Yeah, I agree. He's an underrated bat. He's a guy I love to get to. Seems like he's pulling some ownership on DK today, and FanDuel actually leading off for this team. So they're a popular team today. Who was the other guy?
Franmil Reyes.
And they are playing I know we just talked about it, but my thing here goes by away team. Indian. There we go.
Yeah, Indians are playing lefty.
Franmil, I have at 14.44 in the home run model. So Franmil's higher. He usually is. He's got more raw power, and that kind of translates in here. Yeah. So out of the two, I would probably play Franmil. You're getting a much better ownership edge, only 5.4% ownership on my last update on DK, 10-ish on FanDuel.
All right, now our next game, as far as I know, this Arizona and San Francisco game is in San Francisco, right? I've looked because there's two sites out there that have what looks to be Arizona temperatures. I went and actually, looked at weather.com to make sure. I'm like, oh my God, is it really going to be 100 in the Bay Area today? No, it's not. It's going to be in the mid 60s, maybe touching 70. So I Googled it. I searched. So if I'm wrong, if anybody knows, I was like, it's 2020. Are they playing the game in Mexico somehow? Is this just escaping all of us here? So I went and looked, and everything that points to it says it's in San Francisco. So I was just kind of curious there.
It'd be weird to pack up and go to the other stadium overnight. I mean, they were in San Fran last night, right?
Yes. I watched highlights. Yeah. I went to the Giants website and all of that. It all looks like it's going to be there. So I want to point this out because are you ready for conspiracy time?
Ooh.
All right.
We need a little theme song for that.
Yes, we'll do the I can't remember the X-Files theme song, but I'm going to drop this in chat. So this is my Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article. I've broken this out and I've referenced this, so I put it in italics and said, hey, I've talked about this before. just because I don't want you guys to think I'm unintentionally repeating myself. But we have, let's see, it's still Tyler Anderson, right?
Yep.
Oh, yay. So I said Tyler Anderson has to go from spending his first 4 seasons in Colorado to now, or in Coors Field, to now playing in Coors Field West. Oh, wait, have you not heard my theory about the Oracle Park renovation? That's just a cover story. Draw up a chair, dear reader. Let's go down the rabbit hole. So basically what happened is they did some renovations at Oracle Park. They moved in the fences a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean, 5 to 8 feet in different spots. It was already a big ballpark. They also have the same weather that they've always had. So I want to point that out. It was warm for their first series. And by warm, I mean it was in the low 80s, which is warm for San Francisco, but not out of the question warm. There have been more home runs, more everything this year. It's not just the Giants pitching, because over their 12 games at home, the Giants are averaging 7.5 runs per game, and their opponents are averaging 5.25. So yes, the Giants have a garbage bullpen, but they're still scoring more than their opponents. So I think the ball is being juiced, similar to the on the opposite end of the spectrum of the humidors that are used in Arizona and in Colorado. I think they've given a little something for some fun. I'm just saying, we're now at 12 games. It's 12.8 runs per game. This is not a jam in the crappy pitchers anymore. I still think Zach Gallen is probably your, I always get his name, is probably your best pitcher of the night. I'm hoping for a quality start. That's where we are this year. I'm hoping for 6 innings, 3 earned runs. I'd be thrilled with that. I'm willing to pay his price tag for that. The bullpens, runs can still be scored. So this is one of those, I'm no longer avoiding San Francisco. I was just like, dear Lord, is it really 100 degrees in San Francisco? No, there's 2. I don't know what they're pulling, but these other two sides, and I'm not knocking them at all, because they're...
Yeah, no, somebody must have made a mistake and thought the game was in Arizona.
Right.
One side's probably just copying the other one, because that's how
that's how it works.
So,
or this could have been a, hey, we forgot, we're switching because we had something here in this series. Right. We're doing something, so we need to... So anyway, I just want you guys, it's in San Francisco. It's not 100 degrees, but still, let's look at some hitters. Talk to us about Zach Attack in this one, because it's not going to be Tyler Anderson.
Yeah, so you mentioned being happy with a reasonable start and a few Ks. I'm going to need a lot more than that from Mr. Gallen today. He is my number 1 owned pitcher with a bullet. He's my top starter in projections. I think he was Alex's as well. I would have to double check that. I can click over that in a second. But 10K on FanDuel, despite the park factors that we're seeing, I like him in this spot against this lineup. He's at 29.1% strikeout rate for his career over his first 110 innings, 1.06 home runs per 9. He walks a few too many at 9.7, but it's not tragic. So a pitcher I really, really like. He was a high 20% strikeout rate guy in the minors, so it's very real. It's something that he's proven over time. 66th percentile in exit velo allowed so far this year, 70th in hard hits, 79th percentile in exit woba, ex-woba, 81st percentile in K percentage, 77th in whiff rate. Just get a tremendous results so far in this short season. He throws a 93-mile-an-hour fastball 36% of the time, 81-mile-an-hour curve, and a cutter and a changeup. Gets 30% whiff on all 3 of his curveball, his cutter, and his changeup. So good arsenal. Really like the kid. Good spot here. I think we can get to him. Just clicking to top starters. As of my last update, he was Alex's top starter on both sites, getting a lot of ownership, but I think it's playable ownership. I don't see really where else we want to go in big chunks on FanDuel. So I think we got to play it, and I'm going to probably be over that mark on FanDuel.
Yeah, and that's, again, this is just one of those where there's enough crappy pitchers that have been in Oracle Park thus far. It's fun to have these little things. I'm approaching 50%. I think they're doing something to the ball there, similar to the humidors. This is just, it's the world we live in these days. The simulation is running in the red. It's going to hit reset at some point. Let's enjoy it while we're still here. But to me, this is one where you still got to trust the pitchers. Probably the best one of the night is in this game. It's
Yeah,
not I'm playing Tyler Anderson and rolling dice, whereas wait for it, in 2015, 16, 17, and 18, I was probably good. I would do that. Now it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel good about this.
yeah, and with the look that I'm getting on the Diamondbacks on the other side, I totally agree with that. I just think he's avoidable for sure on both sides, despite the salary, despite what you're getting. I'm getting killer home run marks over 10 for 7 different hitters in that Diamondbacks lineup right now, which is just absurd. That doesn't happen very often. Kevin Crone, I mentioned in my write up, we both wrote about the Diamondbacks.
Hey,
Bottom of the
I
lineup.
did too.
Yeah,
I mentioned he was
did you mention
CJ's brother in the same sentence where I said the Martes are not related. So.
nice. So yeah, play the familial ties here. CJ Kevin's got a lot of power too. 2,000 on FanDuel, 2,300 on DK. Not drawing much ownership. First base on both sides. Get a great little home run mark on him. Strikes out a lot, but definitely has a lot of power. 268 projected ISO from Steamer for the season, so it's very real. It's not just me saying this. Get a great home run mark on him. I don't have my column up in front of me from last night, but if you hit my quick hits, you can see some of the rest of the write up here. But yeah, I just love this lineup up and down, and you can build a lot of really interesting stacks with it. I wouldn't shy away from lefties against this lefty. So David Peralta and Cole Calhoun are both in play for me. I love the Martes here. Christian Walker and Eduardo Escobar both getting great home run marks. I'm going to have a lot of Diamondbacks. I'm going to have a lot of their pitcher. Go Snakes.
Yeah, that's basically exactly what I came up with here as well, and it's a good spot, regardless of what you feel about the ballpark. But hey, let's get up to 100 likes, and if we do, I have a good feeling that we'll see 12 runs in the San Francisco game tonight. So get us up to 100 likes. That's another 60. We can do it. We can do it. We're just shy of we're bouncing around close to 500 people. It's a Saturday. I know there's NBA playoffs on now. There's NASCAR going on right now, and then hockey game tonight. There's NASCAR tomorrow, 4 o'clock. They're running back the race. They're running it in their same cars, if I'm understanding this correctly. We do have some content up for that and a show as well. MMA is going on right now, so it's super busy. Tomorrow, programming note, baseball and NBA are both locking at 1 o'clock. Baseball at 1:05, but same, you get the point. We're doing the baseball DFS strategy / live before lock show from 11 to 12. From 12 to 1 is going to be NBA. So you'll want to check that out. For those of you that are just seam heads, you're not worried about the basketball, it's still going to be good information. You can check it out. We won't quite have all the starting lineups, but we should still have most of them for that early slate, or probably for the games going up to at least through 1 o'clock when we go live. And we'll probably get in those 2 and 3 o'clock games at the last part there. But definitely check that out. All right. I think this was an important game, so I'm glad we spent some time on it. The next one, a little dicey. Wade Miley, Kwang Young Kim. I don't really like either of these guys. 5%ers for me at best. Wade Miley does not get blown up as much as everybody thinks. I'm now going to say, 4 times in his last 35 starts, he has allowed more than 4 runs, I think is what it is. And it was either last start or 2 starts ago where that happened. Otherwise, it was 3 times. So just saying, he doesn't get blown up. He's kind of like Martin Perez. You're like, oh, this guy, they allow base runners, but then they get out of it. So just throwing that out there. That said, really don't like either pitcher. Do you like hitters from this one? Do you want to make a note of any of pitching? But 5% seems that to me.
Yeah, I think that's right on both pitchers. Miley would be my preference, gun to my head, if I had to choose between these two guys. Kim comes over from the KBO. He was a kind of below league average pitcher. Well, over there, he was a league average pitcher in terms of FIP and above average in terms of K rate. He was around 23% strikeout rate, 18 to 23% over each year in his KBO career. It's a low strikeout league. That's not going to translate here. And it really hasn't in his minimal experience so far. He's very small sample size, but he's sitting 44th percentile in exit velo allowed. He is limiting hard hit, limiting barrels, but it's just not many innings pitched. I think it's like 4 innings pitched, so it doesn't really count. He's not a pitcher I want to get to. Miley on the other side, like you said, he's like a league averages type pitcher. He's better than people give him credit for, but he's not really a DFS option. 18.5% strikeout rate, limits the home runs, doesn't get blown up, doesn't really get lit. So I do like some Cards bats here. I think we can get to them. They've got some very good right-handed hitters. Again, Miley doesn't allow a ton of power, but these guys don't need a pitcher who really yields a ton of power to be able to hit a home run against them. So we've got a Tyler O'Neill in the middle of this lineup, crushes the ball when he manages to make contact. I think he's hitting around 182 this year. He doesn't connect that often, but his ISO is sick when he does connect. So he's just a masher. Paul Goldschmidt, Tommy Edman.
Who has the sicker ISO, Tyler O'Neill or Harrison Bader? I haven't looked, but I know Harrison Bader is like a walking home run or a strikeout when it gets to lefty.
That's a good point. Let's see. Right now, this year, it's definitely O'Neill at 250. It looks like Bader hasn't done that yet, but yeah, he's got that same skill set for sure. He connects, it goes. So, and he's going to be hitting at the bottom of this lineup. I like that as more an end cap because he's not really on base, set the table for the top of the order wraparound type of a guy, but definitely a guy you can get to mix and match. He's not going to be touched on either side, trending under 1% ownership. I mentioned Goldschmidt, like the power numbers on him. Edman does things with his bat and his legs. He was, I think, 11 home runs, 15 stolen bases, and like 350 plate appearances as a rookie last year. So really like the quality there. Carpenter you can get to despite the lefty-lefty. It's not going to scare me here. Fowler I like in the lineup. Yadi Molina, the bat's not really there anymore, but as a mix-in, as a very low-owned catcher play on DK, I don't hate it. You can do it as a part of this stack.
Do you know how old Yadier Molina is?
It's got to be close to my age. I'm going to give him under 40. I'll give him 39.
It's 38.
38. All right. Good for him. Young pup.
I will say, God, was it Benji Molina? One of his older brothers, I think, was on one of my earlier fantasy teams. Like back before the internet.
Probably Benji, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Catching Molinas.
Yeah, the three Molina brothers.
He's by far the best offensive.
I think his numbers now beat his brothers combined with room to spare. So
right. Yeah, his numbers now.
Yes. But all right. Sorry, gotta have a little fun here. A little fun.
Yeah, come on. Questions or anything?
Let me see. We'll get to a few. We got four games left. So Ronaldo Lopez, I'm not excited about. Kyle Hendricks, yes, seemingly gets more pitches this year. However, he is facing the White Sox, and they do have Yasmani Grandal back. I feel like 10% on these guys, not 5%ers, 10%ers. and for those playing along at home, Zach G is going to be 30%. So that's where I'm standing if you need a bellwether mark.
I like that. I might take a little bit of that, maybe lop off 5% from that Lopez and throw it on to Hendricks, go 15-5, just me. I know the price is really good, but I just don't trust Lopez right now. He was on the IL with shoulder soreness. Anything to do with shoulders for pitchers scares me all the time. It's like when you hear a guy's got forearm tightness and then it leads to the elbow surgery. Shoulders just concern me. It affects everything about what a pitcher does. So I'd be a little bit wary about the pitch count. I do get a decent little projection on him. I have him in, I think, for 5.5 innings, something like that, in the way that my model works. So he's not terrible. He throws this 2019, 60% 95 mile an hour fastball, 84 mile an hour slider 18% of the time, 84 mile an hour changeup 15% of the time. Generates some whiff, 19.4% strikeout rate, 8.8% walk rate, 139 home runs per 9, getting up there a little bit, 155 to lefty hitters. So maybe look towards some of those lefties on the in the Cubs lineup, stack against him. That would be my preference for this game. What to do as far as really is the bats on both sides. I wrote up the White Sox this afternoon. I like the way that they look. They weren't getting much attention against Hendricks because of his popularity on both sides. So I think the White Sox stack is sneaky here. And I think the Cubs stack is a little bit more obvious, but very much in play with what they can put up against Ronaldo. And then what I expect to be a decent run from the bullpen here.
All right, we do have all lineups in at this point. We got that San Diego one in. Basically, they switched catchers from the projected lineup, which is no surprise. Hedges will probably go tomorrow, and then they had one other guy in, I think, batting 7th. So nothing too crazy on that one. But we also just got an ownership update here for the player popularity. So Justice Sheffield, I feel like we better talk about him next. 46% against Texas. Normally, I am terrified of any Mariners pitcher. However, The Texas Rangers, as we have pointed out, we're trying to decide, is it the ballpark that now is covered that is limiting their offense outside of Joey Gallo, or is it that they're just not that great? We're going to find out tonight, I think.
This is the test. Texas Sheffield.
To be determined.
Yeah, I think, like I was saying the other day, and when we talked about that, I think it's just a matter of this lineup not being very good. Hey, keep it down over here.
Oh, wait, does it mean we stack, or does that mean we go with the pitcher? I'm not sure how are we interpreting your dog's barks? I know other shows
saying stack. That okay. Was definitely stack. I like that offense. And that would be my preference here. I would lean into the Texas bats, even though I was just saying that they're not very good. I just don't trust Sheffield really yet. He's gotten some results, but I don't think he's there. And he still allows a lot of hard contact so far this year. 36th percentile in exit velocity allowed, 18th in hard hit rate, 48th percentile around league average xWOBA allowed, 81st in barrels allowed, only 23rd in whiff rate. So he's not really getting a lot of swing and miss. If you're allowing contact to a team like this as a lefty, I still think they can get you. Joey Gallo, we know that there's a ton of power lefty in that bat. But we've got a Todd Frazier here. We saw Santana's 2 days in a row now that he's hit home runs. So they're coming around a little bit. They're not my favorite option. They're definitely not a team I would go to very much. But the public's not really going there very much either. So I think we can get to them. I think we can hit a couple home runs against a pitcher like this, maybe get into the bullpen and then really start the offense going. I can work with a little bit of Sheffield at 6,500 on DK. I don't mind it. I don't think I'm going there at 7,500 on FanDuel, despite an okay projection, despite a lot of available strikeouts in this lineup. As of the last check, he was Alex's 4th-ranked starter on FanDuel, so Alex likes him better than I do. But I just hate the ownership mark. He was 27.8% popular on FanDuel as of my last update. I'm not sure where it's sitting right now, but that's something that just, as a differentiation play for me, that's easy enough to get away from, and maybe that's a little impetus to build some more Texas stacks for me.
All right, I'm gonna let's see how many games we have left. So we got about 20 minutes. We've got we're getting close here. Brandon Bielak and Zach Davies are 2 we haven't talked about yet. Jordan Lyles is a whole lot of 10%er for me. Kyle Freeland, not great. The Ginger Hammer is not going on the show tomorrow with me and Greg Ehrenberg. He is tonight. He is. Let's see. I'm going 30% for Sheffield. We have him in the low 40s right now. I'm taking the price, and Zach, we have him at 40%. I'm going 30, and then Dustin May, who I want you to mention in this next round here, I'm going to go 25. He is 15, and I am running barely 200% tonight. That's how crappy some of these pitchers are. So I'm going to see how my stuff runs out. But everybody else is 5 or 10%. I'm throwing 15% to Martin Perez. I'm going 10 to Wade Miley and Cobb and Davies and Jordan Lyles, just because I don't know what the hell is up with the Mariners. But this is barely. I'm going to hit some run crunches now, because this is like, oh goodness, there is no good pitcher to focus on tonight.
Yeah, it really is a little scary out there as far as pitching goes. So this kid's got a tremendous amount of talent. I'm not pulling the craziest projection for him, but I think it's just because of my innings projection. I have a low innings projection on him. Alex definitely likes him. He was, I believe, the 3rd-ranked starter.
Just 4 strikeouts in his last 10 innings. However, the game before those, he had 8. This is Dustin May. Yeah. So,
and he's got that sick two-seamer that we've talked about before.
They call him the Ginger Guard, because it reminds people of Syndergaard.
Yeah,
so
he's got that big frame.
He's got the bona fides. So I'm willing to roll the dice on the chance here. But go ahead. Sorry, just wanted to set the stage.
No worries. So he's Alex's 2nd-ranked starter on DK in the pitching tool the last time I checked. He's like 5th, 6th as far as I'm looking here on FanDuel, but getting a lot less ownership, only 8% owned on FanDuel, around what he's ranked as far as the probability of being a top starter. So I like the play over there. I'm going to roll the kid out over there a pretty good amount. He's got that, like I was just saying, he's got that sick 2-seamer that he throws at like 98 miles an hour with 19 inches of horizontal movement. It's the pitch, if you've been on social media, that he's gotten Manny Machado with multiple times this season. Just a killer pitch. Really like him. He went 6 innings twice and then went just 4.1 or 4 1/3 rather. So he got a little early Dave Roberts type action, early hook the last time out, but I'm not that worried about it. That's probably what impacted my innings projection on him. But I like him to get at least a shot at getting the quality start bonus here. So I definitely think we can get to him. We've seen the Rockies on the road. We know about that story. We saw Walker Buehler put up a dynamite score. I think we skipped him yesterday. I felt bad about not talking about him on the show yesterday. But he put up a great mark and really under the radar as far as we were concerned, I guess. But great pitcher, great spot. I like May to do similar, maybe less innings, maybe a lower number, but I think he's going to put up a very, very good start here against this team.
All right, I'm looking at Arizona. I'm just going to screw it. Katie bar the door. Roll it. Let's roll them out there.
Like it. What do you think on the Dodgers lineup as far as Freeland and his just ability to induce the ground ball? He's at like 58% ground ball so far.
Yeah, so the Dodgers, I went 10% in my stacks. Now I've got a bunch of teams at 10. I'm going 5, 7, and 10. So if I really like someone there at 15. So Minnesota's 10, KC 7, Philly 10, Atlanta 5, Detroit 7. That's because and I see they're coming. We don't know what Tristan McKenzie's going to do. We're guessing 50, 60 pitches. Right. Matt Boyd, I'm going against him at 15%. Boston and Baltimore are going 10 apiece, but I'm still playing Cobb and Perez just because I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I think damage could come against the bullpens. White Sox, I'm only going 5% against Hendricks. He just doesn't get blown up enough. 7% for the Cubbies in the Windy City series going against Lopez. 7 apiece for Cincy and St. Louis against Kwang Young Kim and Wade Miley respectively. 5% going against Dustin May. Just 10 going against Freeland. 10 for Houston. 10 for San Diego. San Diego's just their whole team's on fire right now. 7 for Texas against Justice Sheffield. I don't trust him enough. But I want some leverage against that Sheffield stuff. 10 for Jordan Lyles, and then 15% for Arizona, 5% for San Francisco.
I like it. I like that distribution.
It's a lot of a spread tonight.
Yeah, and I think you hit some of the important marks. I like picking off some of those Rangers against your Sheffield shares there, which I don't disagree with on DK. He is one of the higher ranked. It's just a personal preference for me. It's a personal play I'm making, but I like offsetting some of that with those Rangers bats. I'm getting to a little bit more Dodgers. That's why I asked. I'm not overly comfy with it just because Freeland induces that many ground balls. He's not a pitcher I'm really scared of, but he's 5 for 5 in quality starts. He's gone 6 or more in each of his outings, pitched into the 7th couple times. 4.54 xFIP compared to his 2.56 ERA. So getting away with a little bit, and that's mostly based on those ground balls. Only 17.7% strikeout, works in the low 90s. Definitely, induces a ton of ground balls. His changeup usage is up from 12% last year to 31%, and that's the pitch he's getting all those ground balls with. So I don't want to roster him. Definitely not on FanDuel at 7,700. But it concerns me about the Dodgers shares I'm getting. I am getting good home run marks on most of the guys you would expect, good projections. I don't mind the pricing, but I'm a little bit leery of that ground ball rate.
Yeah, Chris Taylor is probably my favorite, and followed by AJ Pollock. I'm looking for the righties, and they're cheap on DK. That's the only side I'm playing on tonight.
Yeah, and they're low owned, both of those guys. So I like that spot, decent amount.
And I like them as one-offs. Taylor's got multi-position eligibility, so that's helpful too. So
yeah, slots in nicely. Shortstop outfield 3,500. I like that spot a lot.
All right. Did we hit everybody? Let's double check here. Jordan Lyles. Any thoughts on Jordan Lyles? And Zach Davies and Belak. Those are the 3 we didn't really specifically talk about. There are a whole lot of SP2. We're gonna have to play him on the late slate. I'm not excited on the main slate. I think I'm 5% with everybody, and 10% I think I said with Davies.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think maybe you could tick up to 10 on Belak, but he's 8,300 on DK, so scratch that. 6,900 on FanDuel. I would flip those prices, and I like him better over on DK. And this Padres lineup has been just brutalizing pitching this year. We've seen that. So it's a tricky spot. He is a good pitcher, mid-20s strikeout rate in the minors. 5.26 xFIP so far in 2020 to his 1.69 ERA, so he is getting away with a little bit. Throwing 50% fastballs at 93 miles an hour. He's in the 62nd percentile in whiff rate, 23rd percentile in strikeout rate, though. So he gets swing and miss, but he doesn't get a ton of strikeouts, which is interesting. Not putting guys away. So you'd like to see him tick that up, but he's managing quality contact, 93rd percentile in exit velocity, 81st hard hit, 81st in barrels. So I don't hate it. Walking too many guys, allowing too much opportunity, though, probably would scare me off. And like I said, at 8,300, I think 5% is probably appropriate. Zach Davies, I think, again, probably appropriate what you said. Don't love the pitcher, relies on movement, change of speed. Against this Astros lineup, that could definitely be risky. We know all about the hitting in this lineup. So limit him. He's not going to strike many guys out for you, but he could put up an okay enough start. Wouldn't go there on FanDuel.
All right. A little bit of talk there about Mitch Moreland. That was Terry's home run call of the day. We just need one, and if they pull him, hey, he got the home run, right? That's perfectly acceptable. From that standpoint, I went with Franmil Reyes. I didn't see Ron's pick. I don't know if he is there. But reminder, you can get the news god himself is actually in front of the paywall now. He has a live blog chat that you can access. I think you basically sign up if you have an Awesemo account. It gets you there. It doesn't cost money. It just, you have to log in some fashion. When I was logged in as Awesemo, I still had to what is it called? Confirm my identity with Google. So it's just the chat thing. It doesn't do anything with it. It's just saying we would prefer not to have a bunch of bots and spam. So it's protecting you from that, unlike YouTube. Oh, and I said it. Sexbot, sexbot, sexbox. I said it 3 times now. We're in trouble. Where is Josh Engelman to save us? All right. Oh, I see my friend Cesar is in chat. Cesar had himself a little night. He got first in I think it was a DK showdown, but he also likes to play over there on Yahoo. Well, that was even better than last time.
That's getting better and better.
Yeah.
You've been working on that.
Only on air. That's really it. All right, so I'm gonna run some more stacks here. We've got 8 minutes up until lock. Oh, I am running stacks. It's just going real slow. Running four fours and 4 threes, considering the amount I have suppressed the popularity for my pitchers. It's going really slow, and I only
things right up.
Yeah, it's just chugging along. So that will give me time. See, this is how you got. It was 7 minutes to go. So this is how you multitask. So now I'm going to say I already uploaded my DK tiers. I am now going to download my DK CSV file, and I like to sort it by price, and then I like to know where my boosters and my winner take alls and that stuff is, so I can make sure I'm appropriately getting. I like to, if I'm playing a lineup in the winner take alls or the boosters, I like to play it somewhere else or vice versa, because there is nothing worse than getting second in a winner take all and having that lineup nowhere else.
Yeah.
So I have learned that one the hard way, and I don't play a ton of them, but it is a nice little kicker on your bankroll when they do come in. So
yeah, it's that same idea of, if you're just making one cash lineup, hey, stick it in a low value GPP just for the hell of it. You don't want to put up a 300-point night and not have it hit for 40K when you could have for $4. If you're building one lineup and just putting it into a single entry thing for $10, spend the extra 4, put it into the GPP just for the hell of it.
All right, now I'm gonna run some 4-0s, and then I'll run some 5-0s, and then we'll see if I have time to build some stacks. Hunter Dozier is a beast, yes. Eugenio Suarez is a lock for a home run tonight. Lofty goal, but he is a good player. He just, if memory serves, he's kind of been slumping so far this season.
Yeah, I can pull that up. I do like him a lot. I've got I was in the other tab just looking at pure home runs, but I've got over 10. He's at the 12.69 mark on my home run model so far. But for tonight rather. So far this year, he is at 152, 295, 291 slash, which is very bad. 139 ISO, weighted runs created 44% below league average, only 3 home runs. So definitely not there yet, but this is a slugger I absolutely trust. He had 49 home runs last year. No worries there. I do like him to potentially pick off a home run against Kwang Hyun Kim and the rest of the Cardinals' mediocre bullpen there. So I like that call. I don't hate the red stack either. Jesse Winker crushes pitching both hands really. We've got Matt Davidson in the middle of the lineup today as a righty. Very, very inexpensive as a part of a stack. Nobody's going to him, and he's hitting third. So you can get a little bit sneaky at the corner there. Joey Votto, obvious. Nick Castellanos, pretty obvious. So there's some things to do with that lineup. I don't hate him.
Right, let's build some specific Cardinal stacks here. For myself, let's put a little Zach attack in and back him up with some of his hitters. I've run into nearly 50% of Ian Happ tonight.
Interesting.
Love it.
A one-off or as
leave it? Looks like mostly a one-off. I am getting some decent Kyle Schwarber as well.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of Schwarber. And Happ is a player I've talked about a number of times. I've written him up a few times. He's a player I really, really like coming into the year.
He's sneaky power is what he is. He's like Ryan Terrio or the Riot from way back in the day.
Wow, love it. That's a deep pull. So yeah, I like that. I don't mind that at all. I'm getting good home run marks for the most part on Chicago as a team. I'm thinking about creating a team power index at some point. Just try and give a gauge of what the teams overall are doing. Use my home run model that way. We'll see. Sneak preview maybe is something to come. Just looking at my home run model, the top is dominated by Red Sox and Diamondbacks today. They're obliterating the entire model. So going down it a little bit, just looking for to pick off other spots. Cody Bellinger, really nice mark. Cruz not in the lineup. That doesn't work. Franmil, very nice mark. We've touched on him a few times. Francisco Lindor is right there with him. Schwarber, we just mentioned. Manny Machado getting a very nice mark. Max Kepler, we talked about earlier. Jose Ramirez. So the Indians are pulling some nice marks here. So really, you can use those names that I just rattled off as kind of a sample of where the power is going to be for me tonight, where I'm seeing that in my home run model. And you can do that with my overnight column with the quick hits. You just go down that, look for the highest marked guys. If one of the guys is over 15, odds are a few of his teammates, and you know who the power guys are in those lineups, odds are those guys are going to be trending pretty well too. So you can kind of make your own power index that way with that. Cubbies, I'm getting a lot of Cubbies right in that just above 10 range. So I like them a lot here.
All right, I am now going to download and upload. We got 3 minutes until lock, so I got pretty good time here. I've added in manually a few Red Sox stacks. I'm missing out on some teams I'm not happy about, but hey, it is what it is. Hopefully I have a little better luck than last night. There is a nice little late slate as well. And then we've got basketball. So we got all sorts of things going on here. Reminder, we do have a special start time for the baseball show tomorrow, Sunday. Both baseball and MLB and NBA are locking at 105 and 1 respectively. So we're going to go at 11 until 12 for baseball, and then from 12 up until first tip, you are going to get Josh Engelman and I think Zach will be on the show tomorrow. Once again, your usual Sunday combination there. It'll be myself and Greg, but we're going to go back-to-back shows there from that standpoint. All right, I am uploaded. Let's look and see if I have any regrets. Hit that like button on the way out. We do appreciate all the help you guys give us, and it does give us a little leg up there on the YouTube algorithm. Ian Happ, well, let's go by position here. Catcher, Real Muto, 22, Austin Nola, 17, Carson Kelly, 11, and then a bunch Severino, Contreras, Christian Vasquez, all about 10.
Nola.
First base, Anthony Rizzo, 19, Christian Walker, light tower power, 14, Hoskins, 13, Mitch Moreland, just 11. I don't like him as much as you, but I do like him. I like all of Boston. Goldie comes in at 9. Ketel Marte, 32. Hanser Alberto, 9. Cesar Hernandez, 8. Kipnis, 7. Kipnis, you let me down the other night. Third base, a couple guys with multi-position eligibility, but we got Ramirez, 30. Devers at 15. Machado at 15. Kyle Seager, 15. Eduardo Escobar, 7. Shortstop, Fernando Tatis. I'm paying the premium. I don't care. 35%. Wow.
Big number.
But there was no pitchers to go to. And remember, I set Zach Attack there at 30%. So Tatis 35, Baez 20, Lindor 16, Xander B at 13. And then outfielders, I already mentioned Happ, Rosario, 22, Kepler, 22, Marte, 19, JD Martinez, he had the home run, I think, last night, 16, Schwarb, 16, Franmil, 16, Mookie, 12, McCutcheon going against, I think, lefty tonight, 12, Trent Grisham, 12. Pitchers, as we wrap it up and get on out of here. Let's see. A little bit slow there. We're getting over. So I capped Sheffield at 30%.
Okay.
Same with Zach. And then Dustin made 25. Hendricks, 15. Martin Perez, 15. Zach Wheeler, 13. Jordan Lyles, 10. Again, I don't know what the heck's going on with the Mariners. Are they good? Are they not good? I don't recognize half their players, and I'm a lifelong Mariners fan. Tristan McKenzie, 10. We don't know what the pitch count is. Zach Davies, 9. Cobb, 6. Robbie Erlin, 5. And then just a host of others for 1 or 2%.
We have the exact same share of Zach Wheeler, 13%. On different sites.
There we go.
I'm way over the top on Gallon. So go D-backs.
Yeah.
Gallon and Diamondback stacks for me.
So we'll see what happens. This is going to be a fun one. But again, all sorts of shows out there for you guys tomorrow. Again, we got one in the can here for the best ball. They're going to run that back again on Friday night. Alex and Nolan did a live draft commenting on how they were doing this for NFL best ball over there on DraftKings. And ultimately that team will try to win its league and then make it into that last couple weeks for the GPP where all the cutoff winners go. I think it's first and second. I haven't signed up for any yet, but I think that's what it is. So check that out. We've got Awesemo best ball and season long content. It's $29.95, but if you also sign up with your same email at the FFPC, you're going to get a $35 credit from them. You can reach out, the details, you can get it through support. It's on the link and all of that. But ultimately, we run a file every few days, and if you have we get the same email matched up, they kick you guys $35 in credit. So wait a second, we're paying you $5 to go read our NFL season-long content. Just saying it. Just it's all how you frame it.
That works.
We'll see. All right, gamers. With that, good luck.